And we're live. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to the exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thank you for joining in. Welcome all Mandela effectians. So I'm joined tonight with our friends Jeff, Sandy, and Esther. Welcome everyone. Hope you had a good week. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving and going through the motions of the holidays coming up. So yeah, we have a really exciting show. We've got a lot to cover tonight. So we're just going to kind of talk about a few things from Teresa's group here that are worthy of sharing. Now, some of these may or may not be Mandela effects, but they're just interesting altogether. Can I go ahead and present that, guys? Sandy?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, Teresa. She's in the chat. Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, these things here come from Teresa's group. We just handpicked a few of the ones here that really stood out. Let me present. Hey, we have 11 people watching. Great. Let's keep them coming. All right. So this first one, Teresa pointed out, massive amounts of sheep have been walking around in circles 12 days straight in China. No one can figure out why this is happening. Wonder if they sense something getting ready to happen, earthquake or something else. Maybe they have some type of disease that's causing the bizarre behavior, but people are noticing this. You can go on you can check it out either on YouTube or you can check out this link here, endtimeheadlines.org. Massive flock of sheep are walking around in circles. So I wonder if you guys have ever heard anything like that. Some strange happenings going on. There was another one. I almost forgot to bring it on here, but it's Sandy. Did you get that? The one that my mom sent you about the sun? There's like a serpent or something like that on the sun.
Yes. Yes, she sent it to me.
That was nuts. I'll see if I can find that one. So apparently animals are a lot smarter in this reality. You know, maybe they sense things. You know, we just talked about the sheep going in circles. Well, now we have dogs that are learning how to drive. You remember that movie Shaggy Dog? I think it was a black and white movie back in the day.
Yes.
With Fred McMurray?
Yep.
Yep. World's first driving dogs. Check that out. Only thing they can't do is put on a seatbelt. But that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely not.
Maybe we don't need the AI. We can just rely on dogs to drive us to work.
I don't know what's worse, self-driving cars or dog driving cars. No.
What would you do? What would you do if your Uber driver turned?
Probably about the same reliability.
What would you do if your Uber driver turned out to be a dog?
I would change my mind quickly. That's okay. I'll walk.
Like, I think I can walk. Like, wait, walk? Walk? Walk?
This one here was just an interesting article I found. There's an old herpes drug that's helping dealing with killing a deadly superbug. That was on Newsbreak. So this drug used against the virus in the 60s can weaken a deadly superbug. So, you know, maybe there's hope there with that. Yeah, I told Teresa to save that for me for Saturday. So thanks, Teresa, for doing that. And I'll find that. I'll see if I can find that that solar. What was it, like a flare or something like that?
The pink one?
It's like a snake in the sun.
Yeah.
My mom's she
You
sent
want
it.
me to find that?
I've got it. Yeah, if you look here, it's just interesting. I hope I don't get a copyright here for sharing this, but it was noticed on camera here on video. Check this video out. So you have this serpent-like thing going across the sun. Let's see if the video will play. Of course, you got ads.
Experience
the comfort of great design.
All right.
I would not play those ads.
December 4th.
Or talk over them or something.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, because I don't. They're
Silence
not
it.
paying you. They're not paying
No.
you. Don't advertise them.
No, we're not advertising. Come on,
I
ad.
think the self-driving cars and High Pocket said if he sees a cat, you're in for a wild ride. Yeah. I was thinking squirrel.
Okay, so here it is, the sun. Look at this.
Blink and you might miss it. Did you see that? This video was recently captured by the European Space Agency's Solar Orbiter, currently making its rounds around the sun. The video was captured back in September as the orbiter began its closest approach yet. And suddenly you can see what looks like a subterranean snake making its way across the face
It just
of the
kind of
sun.
slithers
So
across.
what the heck is it really? Here's how astronomer David Long explains it. You're getting plasma flowing from one side to the other, but the magnetic field is really twisted. So you're getting this change in direction because we're looking down on a twisted structure. We still don't have a complete understanding of the sun's magnetic field lines, but phenomena like this are helping scientists figure it out. They now know that those field lines can move, and quickly, and they can get tangled and snap suddenly before reconnecting. That's what causes coronal mass ejections and solar flares, which is why physicists are now attempting to determine if these solar serpents are a precursor to such events.
Wow.
Your mom and I were talking about that a while ago.
Yeah.
Because I also sent her a jack-o'-lantern sun, which I just put in the group. You can see it in the group.
Okay.
It was nicknamed the jack-o'-lantern sun because the solar flares literally made it look like it had eyes and nose and a jack-o'-lantern type now.
I think we looked at that before. Let me see.
Yeah, we may have looked at it around Halloween because that's when I found it.
It's pretty weird. I'll pull
There's
that
an
picture
alarm
up.
going off. I'm gonna mute. I'll be right back. Joey's alarm's going off.
I'll share that picture right now with you guys. Hey, we have Frank Nunez in the chat. High Pockets. Hey, Frank 72. What's going on, you guys? Welcome. Yeah, so this is the jack-o'-lantern sun that Sandy was referring to that we shared on Halloween. It looked pretty cool.
The sun does do some really interesting things. Hi, Joe Blower. Pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know if it is a snake or if it's just what they were saying about the whole the light shining off from him, because it's just very interesting.
I'm back.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So shall we move on to our first major effect of the night?
Why don't you talk about your one that we don't have a presentation for? You want to talk about yours first, Brian?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, it says connection is a little unstable. I'm like mid. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm not robot-y, am I?
No.
Okay.
I said, why don't you cover your thing first? There's enough people to ask in the chat, and then we can do Esther's.
Yeah, I think we should talk about it because it's been in the news a lot. It's all you hear about lately is the especially after the midterms. This news just broke after the midterms, so it was really interesting to me how many people were talking about this FTX thing, and no business and nobody that I know has ever heard of it. So I put together a little presentation. It's something that I noticed myself, but I didn't really connect with other people to talk about it until this evening. I spoke with Candace, who is one of our community members in the Mandela Effect. She was with us on the show in some of the earlier shows, and she's a friend. So she pointed out to me, and I was like, yeah, I've never heard of FTX either. So yeah, we talked about it. So I'm going to share with you guys this PowerPoint that I put together. Okay. And there'll be a survey at the end. I would like if everyone could take the survey, and then we could kind of grasp and see where we're at with this, see if you guys recall it or not. All right. So we'll do a consensus on this one to see if it may be in effect. All right. So here we go. This is the PowerPoint. Let me enter full screen. View. Yeah. I'm not familiar with this version. I'm used to the older version. Sandy, how do you hit play to start presenting?
You just have to click the tiles. You can't. I don't know. I don't use that. There should be a play
Slideshow. There it is.
button.
Slideshow.
Oh, you got it, good.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so here the title is FTX, Real or Mandela Effect. Credit goes to Candace on this one. I believe FTX itself is a Mandela effect. Many people haven't heard of it before the whole fiasco went down. So if we look here, there's some people on Twitter talking about it. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it says before FTX crashed, I had literally never heard of it. Not going to lie, this guy, J-Rod Money, keep an eye on him. Never even heard of FTX until this all went down. Am I the only one? FTX, never heard of it anyway? Funniest theory I've heard was that it's not going to let me click on it, so I'll just have to try to see what this is saying. I can't zoom in. So I've heard that this plan B was actually right, but FTX ran a fractional reserve with tens of thousands of BTC ICUs, which diluted the supply, and they never overtook gold in practice. So J-Rod goes on to say, not going to lie, never heard of it. Am I the only one? He actually did a survey. This guy has like 30,000 followers on Twitter. Okay. So he did his own personal survey with a lot of people, and 67% of people said no, they'd never heard of it. He said, tell the truth. Did you know what FTX was before last week? Now these guys were all over the Super Bowl. FTX was plastered across the Super Bowl this past year. And the guy looks like the Hobbit guy, right?
I still don't know what it is.
Bankman. His name was Bankman. Would you trust a guy named Bankman who dresses like he just woke up out of bed on national television? So J-Rod says, I've been in crypto for years. Or maybe this might have been a private message. I'm sorry, from Candace to J-Rod. I've been in crypto for years and never hearing about FTX. Sam. And then it says Mandela effect. I just didn't want to admit it publicly, but I was like, WTF. I remember The Hobbit and FTX would have thought. It's also surprising how many others are in the same boat as judging by your poll. So she pointed out to him his poll he was right. Like many people have never heard of it. He says, haha, yep, it's very interesting. So yeah, that's him. J-Rod Money does personal finance, health, wealth, and investing. He's on Twitter. You can check him out there. So then again, this is Candace here. She's saying, "This is my friend Chris, who has been in crypto for years. He got me into the RH Pulse Hex PLSX ecosystem. The J Rod Money one shows who J Rod is that made the poll. He is a financial advisor and didn't hear of it before. It's to show his credentials. And why didn't he know? Especially since he's a financial advisor with over 30,000 followers. Isn't that crazy?" So Chris says here, when it made the news, I didn't pay attention or know about it before. Same. She says, I've been in crypto for years. So she tells her story about the Hobbit guy. Yeah, I was just saying how before noticing others saying the same thing on the poll. So again, I'm not going to read all of these, but you can see from a lot of people on Twitter are like, wow, I never heard of this, So she goes on to say here, Candace says, I can't promise it's a Mandela effect, but it's very strange to me. Are you guys hearing me? I'm just
Yeah.
making sure I didn't lose anybody.
Yes.
So it's very strange to me. So it's all for your contemplation. Would love to get feedback on this, she says. I only know 4% of the world's population is crypto. So maybe many would not have heard of it. But what I find odd is that so many seem to be in crypto or in the financial sector seem to be saying the same, that they've never heard of this. Seems like a lot of crypto and finance people never heard of it. I never heard of Sam Bankman-Fried or seen him. And I don't think I could forget that Hobbit to me. He looks like LOL. Even his voice seems memorable. So yeah, many people here are saying they never heard of it.
Yeah.
Right? Did you ever hear of it, Esther or Jeff or Sandy? Did you ever hear of FTX?
I'm getting what it even is right now, but I've never heard of it at all, like ever before this moment.
Mm-hmm. But it was.
No idea what you're.
Did you guys please tell me? Have you seen the Super Bowl this past season?
No.
In February or January.
No, I was live during the Super Bowl.
I was working.
I saw it.
Did you remember, Jeff, ever seeing an FTX commercial?
No, never heard of it.
And you'd shave your head bald if you were lying to me? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I practically do anyway.
I'm just seeing this guy's bald head. I'm sorry.
I had never heard of it until another YouTuber did a video on the guy, how he took people's money and like millions and gave it away to all liberal campaigns and liberal groups like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that without investors' knowledge, and also promised to not invest the money a specific way. I don't know about crypto investing and things like that, but there's like a good way and a bad way, and the bad way is like high risk, short term or something. I don't know what it is, but he promised not to do that, and that's exactly what he did. And something happened, and everyone panicked and pulled their money out, and that's what put it in the news, is that it went bankrupt, like literally in hours. Totally bankrupt. He was bankrupt. He was just, and his numbers weren't correct. Basically, there was going to be a merger between FTX and another company, and within hours of the other company getting their FTX's financials, they canceled the deal because everything was fake. Like all the money they said they had was complete BS. So that was the first thing I heard, was from one video about these people, and that was like 3-4 days ago. Never heard of him before that.
Yeah, I saw a meme online about, we call them money bags, and he still didn't, like, ha ha ha. Like, what? I had no idea what they were even talking about. Now I know. Now I get the meme.
Yeah, I mean, in the chat, Joe Bloor says shorting the stock, short-term boom and then bust. So thank you for that, because he was doing something. That's all. I just don't remember the exact words that were used in the video.
Hyperliminal. Oh, sorry. I was yawning. It's really late.
Brian,
Yes. So I
we
just
should
wanted
move
to.
on because
I'm almost done here presenting. So there's just some more proof here about FTX. People are not remembering it. Or not remembering it, but
Never heard
not
of
even
it.
ever hearing about it. You know what I mean? So worthy of mentioning. Candace goes on to say, maybe you can mention this to the audience, how they should do self-custody of their crypto wallets, not your keys, not your coins, and how Richard Hart Richard Hart was right, so they don't lose their coins to third-party scammers. He's been trying to save people for years. People need education, not regulation. He's a billionaire who made a hex coin that 10,000x, and everyone is waiting for his next project, Pulse Chain, a fork of Ethereum. So there's also a documentary about him coming up called The Highest of Stakes, and crypto isn't going anywhere or away. It is the future. Yeah, so just let that sink in just for a minute. Yes, a hex coin. All right, so she says, never heard of Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX before, and also I'm wondering if I had or should have heard of BlockFi as well. Not sure if BlockFi is an ME or if I've been under a rock. The FTX one, though, I see people questioning why they haven't heard of it before, as I've shown you. And I said I hadn't heard of it prior to even seeing others thought the same as me. I went to go look up the Twitter, which is where it led me to the poll. So that's how she got to the poll. Now, this is one that I've actually created just for the show tonight. And you guys can actually check it out yourselves as far as where it stands with the poll. You guys see my screen? We're
yes.
trying to get rid of this.
Do you have a link to that?
Okay.
Can you put that link in the chat?
Yes, I most
Okay.
certainly will.
Good. Hey, Brian, I have to step away for 1 minute. I'll be right back. I'm listening, but I can't talk. But I'm here.
Okay, so let me go back here to the chat real quick. Okay. All right, so you're free to take that survey, and we will be keeping up through the night. By the end of the show, we'll hopefully get the results of the voting. Okay. Sandy, oh, she went away. Okay, sorry for a minute. Yeah, the link is right here. We post it again. Yeah, please, guys, please vote. Unlike the midterms, we're not rigging this one. I'm joking. So, Sandy, starting with which one now?
I think we're starting with the one that I found.
I ran back. So we're starting with Esther's because Esther needs to leave early.
Yep. Which one is Esther's again?
It does say Esther. It's the one with the Little Mermaid.
Oh, Little Mermaid. Okay.
Yeah, which I happened to find on accident. I was watching a whole different video.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Maddie, for taking the survey. Yeah, we'll. Thank you.
So,
all right. So, guys, this is our first major, besides the crypto stuff, okay, with that, I believe it's a Mandela effect. But this is one that Esther found with the Little Mermaid. You want to talk about it, Esther?
yeah. Sorry. A song from The Little Mermaid, Part of Your World, has changed. Not in the official lyrics, though. She sang the word wrong. Or she sings the word wrong.
Can you tell me if you remember that logo? The A's look weird with and the E's.
I remember that one, sort of. The M looks weird to me, but
Yeah, the M does look weird.
it doesn't look right.
I don't remember the R dipping down like that.
It does look a little odd, but the A and the E's look right.
Yeah.
And my left eye is twitching again, so it's cramping up on me. So legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down blank. What's that word again? Street. And what do you guys remember it saying after when she says legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down? What's the word again? Street?
Street.
I don't know if we're allowed to sing it.
Can you? I think you can sing it.
I don't know because it's Disney. Disney is always, one of those. Ooh, I
Well,
I
we
don't
can't
know.
play the
So,
background music, but can you like sort of hum it in your head, maybe? Or
Why aren't you playing it? You can play that.
okay, let
yeah,
me play it.
I wasn't sure if you can play it or not.
I stopped it. You want to play it again because it's quick.
See if I can boost the volume. There we go. That should do it.
Are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along.
So down is there, strolling
It's
along
supposed to be
down.
down the street, right? Strolling along down the street.
So you remember the.
Thought I remember the.
I remember the too. Esther, what do you remember?
Oh, definitely the. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the chat. Oh. Yeah. It's a required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down. What's the word again? Street. Blah, 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 blah. I can't sing very well right now. I blew out my voice yesterday, so I cannot sing anything high
Surprised you
right.
can sing it all considering you just lost your voices.
Yes, it was horrible yesterday.
Okay, next. Can we go to the next slide? We got any votes?
Well, Mandela Effect says it's been too long for me to remember. Frank Nunez, not 100%. I think someone guessed. Let me see. Maddie says have to. I don't think that fits.
What?
Strolling along down have to. Wow, 30 years since Joe Bloor is seen.
Oh.
Thanks for making us feel old.
I listen to this occasionally, like just like once in a while, like just listen to the song because this was a song that I loved when I was like
Same. I
like 10
love
or
this song.
something.
I used to
When I
sing it
first heard it,
cleaning.
it was so. Oh yeah, I was obsessed with this song for the longest time. And yeah, I was watching cinema therapy, and they were kind of like dissecting the video, and like because they do that with the therapy stuff, and talking about the good parts and the bad parts and all of that. And the song they happened to show, and I was like, "What did you just say?" So I rewound it, and then I actually watched the official. Then I looked up the lyrics, and then I'm like, "Well, the lyrics are different than what she's saying," so it was a little confusing.
You think it changed?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's weird because the lyrics are what we remember, but the
you'll hear it. We're going to go on, Brian.
All
We
right.
all remember the on the panel.
as previously stated, the official lyrics have not changed. It still says strolling along down the. but she sings or a now. It
Wow.
kind of sounds like a because
You can play it, Brian.
when you sing
Required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down what's that word again?
It does sound like a or
And I have it slowed down coming up, so you don't have to play it again. I got it slowed down. You can hear it clear as day.
Really?
Yeah, and I got closed captioning. It's amazing.
Are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down what's that word again?
It is
I
not.
cannot do.
It is not hear what you want. She is saying no ands, ifs, or buts, and it was the 100%
Yeah,
for me
I
at
don't.
least.
I don't hear the. Can't hear that anymore. I mean, I always remember it was on, but along on is like that. Those are really similar words, but the and are not in that context. You can guess kind of
So there, Esther.
oh, here's the clip. Slow down. It really hangs on the A. I didn't know you wanted me to read that.
You want to play, Brian?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it says
Yes, slowed down. You hear strolling along down. Nah. You hear
Oh,
like a nah sound.
she always said the.
Yeah.
It was pretty plain and obvious, and now it's not. I mean, I don't
And
know what's going on. The Mandela effect keeps changing some of our favorite songs.
the GIF below has
The what?
a all the GIF below it. It's just a
It has
photo.
a.
Yeah, A
Wow.
all across. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then
it
on the
sounds
next screen, you have at the bottom, that's the closed captioning for the video, for Disney's video.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead, Esther.
I turned on closed captioning, and they write as well. I also found a GIF or GIF as some images with an A written on the lyrics. I need water.
Wait, was there another clip?
I want to say welcome to Samoa Harry, who also says it was the.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear as day, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as soon as I heard it, and I was watching this while the guys were talking, and I heard her clear as day say and I was like, whoa, wait a second. I rewound the video to like to hear it again, and then I pulled up the music video from Disney. So I'm like, well, maybe it's just their version. And I pulled up the version from Disney, and I was like, nope, it's not just their version. It wasn't like a mishearing it from their video, because when you re-record something, it could get misinterpreted. So I was like, nope, that's not right. And then I looked up the lyrics, and I'm like, whoa, the lyrics say something different, which is the way I remember it.
Laurie says the as well.
Yeah. So no residue. Instead, I have the current reality images where people remember even though.
Oh, sorry.
Guys.
Yeah, it might have been that delay. I don't know. There's like a 20-second delay when I share the screen. I'm sorry. I went ahead and read it. Do you
Even
see
though
it
Disney
on
says
I was
the.
looking up to the side for a second, then I was distracted with the chat. Yeah.
All right. So what are we looking at here where it says A?
Yeah, there shouldn't be A anywhere. Officially, Disney says it's the.
Hmm.
And at the top, someone remembers that.
Well, there's actually two different sections of the song where it says part of your world and part of that world. But I remember part of your world in both stanzas. But now in one of the stanzas it says part of that world. You
The
know,
very end. The very end says, oh, wait, is it the very end?
I
Part
think it's the
of
very
that
end.
world?
Part of your
Yeah.
world. It's weird how the song changes throughout. Like,
I know. I do have a dual memory of that and your, and that could be why.
when did the movie came out? When?
I
Early
don't know.
90s, wasn't it? Wasn't it 90?
91?
It came out around the same time as Beauty and the Beast. I know that.
Yeah, it was either 90 or 91 because my friend had loved Little Mermaid and it just came out. And I remember I watched it, I think it was 92. So it was either 90 or 91 because it was still quite.
Okay, yeah, because I think it came out before Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park came out in '92.
Yeah. Joe Blower was saying 1989. It was kind of.
Okay, so can we talk? Can we talk about the rice one, Sandy? Is it okay? Can I work from the bottom up?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Esther, anytime you feel like you have to go, just let us know.
Yeah, Esther, if you're tired, if you need to drop off, that's fine. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah, I don't know how much more I can talk because my throat is like really hurting from yesterday. It's like at the back of my throat. I know it's not like a sore throat from like sickness. It's actual like because I kept trying to clear my throat yesterday and I'm like, it's not
Hey
working.
guys, can somebody please use their wrench?
I was already in the middle of doing it. My iPad
Okay.
froze.
My phone is like almost dead, so if I pull it up, it'll die. But I know there's other people in the chat.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah, I was starting to
And
read some of
Phenomenal.
those comments.
Phenomenal's been really moving the chat along tonight too. Thank you.
Maddie, I like your logo there, your picture avatar.
Yeah, I know. Simpsons gets it right way too much. I'm curious.
Is it? So you're telling me that the man? Okay, so preliminal says preliminal says I
Lemon.
saw the movie poster on the wall every day, and it was playing in our cinema or at our cinema, and it was like 1991 Interview with a Vampire.
And now it's the.
Yeah, it was a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Interview with a Vampire.
Definitely was.
Now it's the vampire. It's just
That
so
was one
weird.
of the first ones I noticed.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the Sex and the City one?
That one I noticed before before I knew about the Mandela effect, and I'm like, what the hell? There were a lot of them like that.
Exactly. So, Jeff, since you got show notes, I can read more if you want. We can take turns.
Okay.
All right. So, this may not be a Mandela effect, but it's new for me. This one's about rice.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you if it's a new for you as well. And I think Sandy found this one, right, Sandy?
Yes.
So, natural colors of rice. Besides white rice, what colors do you remember? Now I've heard of what do you call those things where you're um, verbally challenging someone, like, hey, I'm going to be all over you like white on rice. I've heard of that.
No, I'm asking what other colors of natural rice do you know of besides white?
I
But I
know
have
of
a
yellow and
question for
brown.
you.
That's it. Yellow, brown, and white.
Okay, listen. While the chat is answering, there's a question in the chat I wanted to ask you from Joe Bloor, because I wasn't sure. He writes, anyone remember Jurassic Park, the original '93? They say off the coast of Ecuador, not Costa Rica. Do you guys remember Costa Rica or Ecuador? Esther, Brian, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading that comment too. Sorry, I was commenting back to a friend of mine. Um,
I only remember, like I said, I only remember the three.
Right, but I'm asking about Costa Rica or Ecuador in Jurassic Park.
I want to say it's Costa Rica for me, but
I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure. That's why I wanted to ask you guys. And also,
I want to
Maddie
say
says
Ecuador
strong
was.
Costa Rica.
I want to say Ecuador, wasn't that a different island that they went to? Like they went to it.
Well, here's the thing, Esther. Costa Rica's not an island anymore.
Huh. I've been keeping up with geography. Sorry.
All right, so I'm just going to read the chat right now because there's a lot happening. We have Frank Nunez with brown. High Pockets is yellow. Mandela affected brown rice. Lord Frybread, welcome. Samoa Harry says brown, white, and red. Maddie says white, tan, brown, wild rice. Joe is guessing brown, yellow, and blue. Let's see. Strong Costa Rica for Maddie. I read the book too. Costa Rica was an island in my past, Joe Bloor. Many of us agree. Mandela Effect says brown rice was always tan yellowish. Frank Nunez, I remember Costa Rica. Criminal, I remember Venezuela right above Argentina, but now is located on the top north of South America. Joe Bloor, I had Jurassic on VHS and literally saw that movie dozens of times. I completely believe you, Joe. Preliminal, Venezuela is a weird Mandela effect. I agree, Preliminal. Maddie, yellow is a coloring. Not true. Sometimes yes, but not always, we'll say. Jeff Zanzibar, yes, yellow as well. Okay, we can move on. Yeah, Brian.
Oh, it's not going?
No, I said go ahead, you're reading. No, you just skipped now.
Oh, crap. Okay, sorry. It skipped two.
Right.
So I remember white, yellow, and brown rice, but there are three colors of rice I've never seen before. The first one is red yeast rice, not rice that is slightly reddish. Red rice is so red it looks unnatural.
This red rice, yeah.
The second is one is green bamboo rice, which is a pastel, warm green.
Hmm.
But the reason why I decided to research this was the third rice. It's called sweet black rice. In most cases, this rice is not black. It sometimes looks black when dehydrated. But when cooked, sweet black rice is a rich, deep purple rice. Have you ever seen purple rice before? Anyone?
And also there is blue rice, but it's like very faint blue. It's like a white rice that's got a blue tinge. And I learned about it when the presentation was already done, so I just didn't include it. So Joe, when you said the question mark for the blue, you are correct. There is also blue rice.
I remember black rice, but I didn't know it turned purple.
I'm putting an email in the chat, Mandela affected.
Yeah, so both sweet black rice and red yeast rice can be soaked with white rice to make lighter hues of their color, sticky rice, which is used in many Japanese and Korean dishes. Isn't it also used in? It's used in was it not tofu? Sushi, right? Don't they use rice in sushi?
Yeah, you're looking at sushi right there on the top right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my
There's
favorite
no,
is the spicy tuna roll.
I'm sorry, there's no space. If there's a space between Sandy Diva and YT, there should not be a space. I think, I can't tell because it highlights my name.
So, have you seen or heard of these before, or have you heard or seen these before? Like I already stated, may just be info I did not know, but could possibly be a change. Whoops. Okay, that's it for that one.
Now, these are not food coloring. These are all natural. That's why I said natural colors. You can use food coloring to dye rice any color, but these are naturally this color, which is crazy to me. I've never seen it before.
On that, I would have used that for like food for my kids' parties. I'm always looking for like colored themes.
Well, if that was making you hungry, not this one, but the next one probably will take that away.
Well, I'm not a huge rice fan, but I'm always looking for like foods that are like, that's not super sugary kind of foods and stuff like to actually feed guests when I do like birthday parties. So, I mean, I would have been awesome to have different color rice. You could do all kinds of fun things with that.
So I have covered a lot of weather over the years, and yet new weather types and terms keep appearing. And Esther, this one's really for you because you're up north.
Yeah. I'm not talking much just because my throat is hurting. And my honey expired.
I didn't know honey expired.
Well, it's not the honey; it's more of the container that it's in. That once it gets to a point, the plastic and stuff will start breaking down and can leach into your food, and that's what expires, not the honey itself.
So if yours is in a glass jar, you're fine.
Yeah, I mine's plastic, and it's natural honey, so I always say, when in doubt, throw it out.
That's true.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ryan. You can go on.
Okay. I've covered a lot of weather over the years, and
I already read it. I'm waiting for you to switch.
sorry.
It's all right. So please fill. I was going to finish reading it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Please fill in the blank. When temperatures fall below a certain temperature, meteorologists will warn us. The watches and warnings given to us are frost, freeze, and blank blank. So when meteorologists warn us, the watches and warnings that they give us are frost, freeze, and what? If you already saw this, just answer what you originally answered. Frank Nunez says black ice.
Wait, how would they have seen this, Sandy, unless they're from the future?
Because I presented this on Curious Search channel.
I know, I'm just joking.
Okay. Maddie says Santa Claus.
That's a good guess.
Above me, says Lord Brybread.
Frost, freeze, and
Joe Bloor, that is not an excuse. I'm going to tell you this happens in Southern California.
Black ice.
Interesting. High Pocket says hard frost or deep freeze.
I was going to say deep freeze, yeah.
High Pockets is close, but no cigar.
Don't move. Yeah, if it gets that cold, don't move.
Hey, Valader, welcome.
Oh, my brain has stopped working.
We can go on. As soon as it gets on my screen, letting you know the map you're seeing here is Florida. I have never in my life heard the term hard freeze. Have you? It's not like this is only heard of way up north in New England or Canada. There are hard freeze warnings from Arizona to Texas and even Florida and California and, well, pretty much everywhere in the U.S.
I never heard of a hard freeze.
There goes the strawberries.
I've never heard of hard freeze.
And the oranges, too.
Mm-hmm. But have you ever heard hard freeze? Like it's a color on the map?
No.
Never.
What's a hard freeze?
I'm
I
gonna
don't
tell
even
you.
know what it is.
I know. What is a hard freeze warning? Yeah, but there's articles like because people should know about it, but they need to explain.
Yeah, I
It's
live in New
also
England and I don't even know what it is.
exactly. It's also not a new term. I found articles dating back to 2007, and I'm sure that if I kept digging, I'd find older articles and reports referencing hard freeze. Absolutely new for me. Is this new for you too? So, here is a hard freeze in 2007 in the Carolinas.
Yeah, that's living in the South. I've noticed that it's rare for us to see snow earlier than Christmas. It's super rare. Normally, when we get snow, it's usually in January or February.
Same.
Same with you guys.
Yes.
Who said that?
Sandy.
Sandy.
What?
In Philly, we don't usually get snow because of our proximity to the ocean and the river.
Oh yeah, that okay. And it's the same with Eastern North Carolina. They don't usually get snow until later too, because they're close to the ocean.
Hmm. So for me, it was always just freeze warnings and frost warnings. There was no such thing as hard anything, and soft. There's also soft freeze and hard freeze, soft frost, hard frost. But the most residue was hard freeze. Um,
Honestly, it sounds like an alcoholic drink.
yeah. So here's the definition for Esther that she was asking for. What is a hard freeze warning? A hard freeze warning is issued when temperatures drop below 28 degrees for 2 hours or longer. A hard freeze is usually the final warning to winterize your home and harvest your garden. Outdoor pipes or sprinkler systems can be damaged if not protected or drained. The growing season will end at these temperatures.
Yep, and there's a reason why like water heaters are typically found in your house. In some places, water heaters are in people's garages, and that's usually not safe.
No.
It's better for them to be in your house.
Hi, Michael Fontaine.
But that they do have like they mentioned piping. You can cover your pipes with insulation, and it'll help to an extent. But we saw what happened in Texas, where the temperature dropped tremendously, and I mean they had ice and
But that's
snow,
not
and
normal. It's not normal for Florida and those parts of Texas to be that cold. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean global warming. My, you know what? Um, so I can't say it on the air, but I don't believe in global warming.
Me either.
I do it to the extent that it's a normal pattern of the Earth that's much larger than 100 or 200 years. So,
Yeah, it's probably cyclic, cyclic, whatever
yeah,
in
and it could be
nature.
every 10,000, it could be a 10,000 year cycle, you know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will say that they have proof that 80 years ago, the ice sheet was melting at the same rate over Greenland. So that was 80 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
we
anyhow,
have.
here's residue, not residue, but showing you that it's going like 2020, 2014. Any state, north or south, hard freezes everywhere. It's on the maps in weather reports. They, of course, have to explain the difference between frost freeze and hard freeze.
I could see if it was like a term used by like just like locals or whatever, but this is like on the news.
It's
And I mean,
everywhere.
I used to watch the news and the weather, so it just
I just remember freeze warning.
Hmm.
That's all they told us. I could see deep freeze, but come on, hard freeze. That's just weird.
Yeah,
And hard freeze warnings are in NOAA reports and in WeatherBug as well.
yeah. As somebody who like raised rabbits and stuff too, and all of that, I would have learned more about that kind of stuff because you'd want to know that so you can Winterize your bunnies.
Well,
Actually,
let me
stay
ask
here
you,
a second. Stay
how
on the
cold is
slide.
it? How cold is it in Philadelphia right now?
It's 34. So
Okay, let
wait,
me tell
listen,
you. I
really
will tell you.
quickly.
Hold on.
I
I
want
will
to.
tell you, Sandy. I will tell you it's 28 degrees here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Well, that's
Yeah, I
freezing.
know. We've been warmer than everybody else recently. But I will say,
Which is weird because you're on a more northern latitude than I am.
but it doesn't matter. Like I said, with our humidity levels in the water, that's why we're considered the mid-Atlantic, because we don't get like the northeast
Or
east
Sandy.
weather. We
Oh,
get the weather that
you don't get the nor'easters?
we do. No, we get nor'easters. We don't get the cold that the northeast gets. That's why we're
Oh,
considered the mid-Atlantic. We get more humid, temperate air like Delaware, Virginia, the
oh,
Carolinas.
okay.
But anyway, as I was saying, the weird thing was with the hard freeze warnings, this one says temps between 18 and 20. I said to stay on the slide. Go back a second. The one on the top says temps between 18 and 25. No one knows what a hard freeze is because I'm seeing 28, 25, 29. The number keeps changing. So that's just something else I wanted to point out. That there's different definitions of what a hard freeze is depending on which station you're
Well,
looking at.
here's the problem, guys. We're only into November. We haven't even hit December, January, or February now. I understand that January and February are the coldest months, usually,
For
and
us, they are.
we haven't even hit that time yet, and we're already dropping in the 20s and teens.
That's 25 degrees here. And it is pretty cold. Like I turned my heat up to almost 72 because
No,
I
they
was
say,
cold.
listen, but trust me, they say put your heater on 68 degrees and you'll save money the whole season. I tolerate it. I live with 68 degrees even during the summer.
I'm sitting here with a blanket on me with a
Well,
sweater on.
you got get yourself a good throw. Yeah, I was about to say, a
Yeah.
throw
Mike
Oh, there
blanket.
was
Fontaine,
one
are you
year I had to
kidding?
turn it up to almost 90 because it was so cold. It was, I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It was the first year I was here. I had to turn my heat up to, I think it was like 85 to 88.
Wow.
And then we were still wearing sweaters and we were still cold because it was so like bone chillingly cold for about 2 weeks. We had a really bad cold snap. It was like below zero. It was like 10 below or something. It was really cold. So that was not fun. So I'm happy if I can keep it around 70. Normally it goes down like 65, but every once in a while it gets pretty cold. Like today, it's like a chilly, like there's something in the air.
All right, Brian, you can go on. I'm going to try to say where these places are located in the pictures.
Okay.
I can't see it. It's not on my screen yet. Okay. So this one's from 2014. This is Texas. You see Dallas and Waco to the left. Brian, you don't have to stay on these this long.
Okay.
I'm just being fast forward and hoping that it moves. So this one's New Orleans. I'm not sure where the bottom one is. I think it says Tallahassee. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So there's Texas again and Tulsa. Now this is the interesting one. The one on the bottom. This is the first thing I saw that made me think it was the Mandela effect. This is their averages. They know the date when the hard freeze will happen because it happens so often. And it's like, I've never heard of this. But they know the date. They know the averages of a hard freeze.
I didn't
It's
know.
insane.
That's just weird. It just doesn't even sound right. Hard freeze. Weird. Yeah, it was always just like severe weather and things like that. Just like, ice warnings and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder, like, because it's not even like midnight over here. I'm sure on you guys on the East Coast it's past midnight and elsewhere, but we're supposed to get down tonight as low as 25 degrees.
We're going down to 31.
Oh,
Here's
and then
5 is more like hour 0.
tomorrow it's actually supposed to get down to 22 for the low tomorrow night.
We're supposed to get 40s this week. Yay!
So the last one was Austin. Yeah, we're going into the 50s later this week. The top one is Southern California. Which one of you said you don't? Joe Bloor, I think. You were in Southern California, so you wouldn't have heard of it. Well, the top is Southern California, and the bottom one is Alabama. Huntsville, Brian.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, yep. Was that one for me, Sandy?
Yes, it was.
Oh, thank you. You guys having a good time or what? I know some of these are really interesting. We've got some more to go here.
We got a lot to go.
All right, we're going to be talking about glowing food.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, you're up next.
If you were hungry,
Yep.
you're not going to be.
Are you hungry? No, wait, we're
I
not going to be
am hungry.
Are we not going to be hungry for this one, Sandy?
I'm trying to
No,
stay
you're
out of
not.
the kitchen.
No. Okay, I don't know if. Okay, we got to do it.
Hi,
So let's do
Rena.
it. Is Rena in the chat?
Hi.
She is.
Oh, hi,
I
Rena.
was about to leave and you said
Irina.
food, and I'm like, well, now I got to stick around for this one. And after this one, I'll probably bow out because talking's not too bad. It was just, if you hear noises, it's just me drinking my water.
All right. In this reality, our food can glow. While some restaurants are modifying their ingredients to purposely make them glow in neon colors, I'm referring to meat and fish that naturally glow in the dark as if they were radioactive. Since 2014, there have been reports from restaurant employees and people whose fridge light had gone out of pork, fish, sushi, shellfish, and chicken glowing when the lights are out.
So when it's completely dark, no external light sources, the food starts to glow in the dark.
One case in Taiwan involved takeout sushi that, when placed in their dark car, immediately began to glow.
Brian, you have to hit play.
Oh, sorry. Let me.
So if we eat a bunch of that stuff, are we going to start glowing?
Yes.
I would be throwing it away outside in a bag far away from me.
Me too. That would freak me out.
Oh my word. That would be creepy.
Yeah.
That is creepy.
I'd be upset.
There's some
That's
more clips here.
expensive. Oh no, that's the same clip. It's okay. I'm just showing you more pictures.
Well, that looks like kryptonite.
It does.
Stay away from that, Superman.
Most of these stories have a scientist chiming in saying the food is safe to eat, but a few reports say it is not, so I wouldn't eat it if your shrimp suddenly starts glowing when you turn out the lights.
Oh boy, we have
Give
a
it to
disco
Mikey,
party.
he'll eat it.
We have a disco party with our food.
Give it to Mikey, he'll eat it.
I just want to be
He
clear.
likes it.
They didn't say it, but that picture with the green in the center, I believe they put a light there so they had a picture to go with the article. I don't think that was glowing because it looked like a light source in the center to me. Can't say for sure. They didn't say it, but it looked like the last image was just a light in the center of food. Just to be fair. Okay, good job. Sorry.
That's all right. Have you ever heard of foods glowing in the dark? Apparently, it's only raw meats and fish, not cooked, which kills bacteria and the glow. But I'll be doing the light switch test from now on just to be safe.
Well, at least I don't eat fish.
Me either.
It's not just fish though. It's chicken. It's pork. We're gonna see pork and beef and chicken coming up.
Oh, beef. No, no, not my beef.
Wait, beef too?
You're gonna see. Keep going.
Yep,
Oh.
glowing beef. It's what's for dinner.
That is, yeah.
It looks like something straight out of Avatar.
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna have to take my hamburger in a dark room, and it's gonna look weird. I emerge out of the bathroom with my hamburger meat. What
Some
are
of
you
that,
doing in there with that? Making sure I didn't glow.
I mean, I'm worried now too. I probably will do the same thing.
Every fridge has a light, so you know.
You don't see it, right?
Yeah.
what is that, a salmon? Or what kind of fish is that?
It
No.
didn't say. It just said fish.
Maybe it's a flounder. Looks like a flounder, maybe. Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we had to kind of go through that one a little quick so we don't ruin ourselves from eating again.
Hmm.
But that's interesting stuff.
Maddie says
Now-
it's snapper, not flounder.
Well, that we should have did the fish one right after Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What happened to Ariel with her voice glowing?
Yeah, I bet those fish want to be part of our world.
Reminds me of a few years ago. I bought a package of meat. It was beef, and I told Sandy about this. And I actually took pictures, and actually Teresa, I'd actually sent her pictures as well. And I can't find the pictures now, but I had a package of beef in my fridge, and it had turned brown. And I was like, I'm gonna throw it away, but because at the time I wasn't throwing away my trash often enough to throw away, gross meat. So I was like, I'll wait till my trash is full. Then when it's full, I'll throw the meat away. After a few days went by, I said I wasn't going through a lot of trash. I looked back in my fridge and my meat had turned back to red. And I was like, how does it go from red to brown to back to red? I'm like, how did that happen? And it was like, at this point, almost like, I don't know, a week or a week and a half over. I think I left it in my fridge as long as I could to see what would happen.
Maybe it's chameleon meat.
I was like, I don't know how that happened. It literally looked like I just bought it. And I'm like, I didn't just buy it. It was brown like 2 days ago, and now it's back red again. And I'm like, that's weird.
That's so weird.
I did not eat it, obviously. And I did not open it up because it was brand new. I'd never opened it. It just like it was just sitting there, and it didn't smell or anything. So I'm like, just whenever I get ready, I'll throw it out. Because you don't want to throw hamburger in your trash unless you're ready to take it out. So it was one of those kind of got stuck at the back of my fridge and just never got out. Like, that's weird how it turned back. Because I'm like, I got to throw this meat away now. Like, why is it red again? And I mean, it looked like I just bought it. And that was the creepy part, because I'm like, 2 days ago, I know I had looked at it and it was brown and it was gross and it looked nasty. And I'm like, how did it change back? So I honestly do not have an answer. Hmm.
Brian, Ed Hens says thank you for the mod shit.
What?
He just realized he had a wrench.
Oh, who?
Ed Hen.
Oh, yeah, Ed. Yeah, yeah. Use it wisely
Oh,
in case we have what happened earlier in the chat. It help. That's why it helps to have more than one wrench in case we need to deal with stuff like that in the chat. So to keep things cool. Um, anyway, I'll read this one. In 1953, a wholesome series about an upper middle class family debuted on ABC called "Make Room for Daddy." I've never heard of this.
mm,
Starring Danny Thomas as the father, in 1957, the show was renamed to The Danny Thomas Show. I have two questions to ask about this series that could be possible Emmys. Question number one: when the series ended and was released to syndication, do you remember seeing it air as uh, usually Nick at Night in the USA is where it came on? Make Room for Daddy, The Danny Thomas Show, or do you remember both titles?
If, of course, any of you know this. But I know that some of the panel does. So, Jeff, what do you remember?
Just Make Room for Daddy. Nothing about the Danny Thomas Show.
I
Esther,
don't
do you know
remember.
the show? I know Brian just said he did not.
I have no idea. I've never seen the show.
Okay. Well, anyone in the chat, if you can just answer I don't know or don't know this show, just so we know. Like, it'll give us an idea whether or not we should move on.
That's,
Susan Wolf says make room for daddy.
doesn't even sound right.
High Pocket says I remember both titles. Maddie and Belater don't know, and that's okay. Thank you both. Michael Fontaine thought it was two different shows, so he heard both names, but he thought they were different shows. Let's see. Don't know the show, says Ed Hen. It's okay. Joe Bloor says, don't know the show. Probable Mandela for me. Mandela Affected. I wasn't around when it aired either, but it aired for a full 5 or 6 years on Nick at Night or TV Land, one of them.
Yeah,
It probably went from Nick at Night to TV Land.
Sandy, do you remember when Nickelodeon stopped at 8 o'clock p.m. and that's when
God,
it went to Nick at Night?
yep, I do. Mr. Super Sideliner says no clear recollection. Laurie H has never heard of it. Before my times of Mandela Affected. Yes, he did. Well, St. Jude. It's St. Jude. So you remember St. Jude's? Danny Thomas did start St. Jude. We used to do a readathon every year in school. Susan Wolf says, yes, I think it was two different shows. Maddie says, I do. I do recall people making references to Make Room for Daddy, says Mandela Affected. Maddie says, babysitter error. All right, we can go on, Brian.
Okay. I remember both titles being used for syndication and remember being confused because of all the different titles. But according to ABC, the entire series, 11 seasons, were only released as Make Room for Daddy for television syndication. Does anyone else remember watching The Danny Thomas Show on Nick at Night, late 80s, early 90s?
So, for those of you in the chat that remember both titles, even thinking it was a different show, you're affected by this because according to ABC, Nick at Night only aired Make Room for Daddy, never the Danny Thomas Show. and that is a complete change for me because how would I even know the title? I didn't own any of the DVDs or VHS. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, 11 seasons. Like this was up there with like I Love Lucy and All in the Family for me. The Donna Reed Show, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Sons. Trying to think of all the old shows I used to watch. Mr. Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Mr. Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I know
Did what did Nickelodeon have the Addams Family also? The old Addams Family, or was it the
No, that was
Munsters?
TBS.
Okay, I remember seeing the Munsters. I think that might have been on Nickelodeon.
It
No,
was, yeah.
it was. I missed that
Yeah.
then. I never saw the Munsters or the Addams Family on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I think
Really?
I remember seeing the Munsters on Nick at Night briefly. I could be wrong, though.
Yes. Question number 2. Yes or no? Do you remember a direct spinoff being made from MRFD TDTS? If yes, what do you remember?
So that's Make Room for Daddy or the Danny Thomas Show. That's what I just abbreviated it. It was a lot to write.
that.
So do you guys remember a direct spin-off from the show we were just talking about?
Are you telling me this ran for 11 seasons?
It did.
11 years, you're telling me.
And the little girl is Marta from The Sound of Music. Angela Cartwright.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Ain't that something?
I've never heard of that. I'll look into it though, Preliminal. He says, did you ever see The Lathe of Heaven? 1980. Fantastic movie and hints on cause of the Mandela effect.
Hmm.
No one, I mean, no, I'm too young to even know of it, Ed Hen says. Don't know if it's a spin-off or not, or Mandela or not. No idea, says Mandela affected. Well, I would assume most of you wouldn't because most of you didn't know the original. I
Okay.
should say, we can move on.
So they have, it's 100% a no for me, Sandy says. I have never heard or seen of Make Room for Granddaddy. Have you?
Mhm.
Nope.
What?
Mm-mm.
I don't remember that
Some
now.
funky lettering there, too. Kind of looks like the Popeyes a little bit. Those O's look a little bit like Popeyes O's.
Look like eyeballs.
But did you know Popeyes didn't have anything to do with the sailor? Pretty much, it's just your eyes pop when you eat the hot food. That's why it's called Popeyes.
Mm. Look at the E. It's crooked and Make Room for Daddy. Granddaddy.
Yeah, it's upward pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone remember this? All right, I'm moving
Mhm.
on.
You can move on.
November 6th, 1967, the Danny Thomas Hour made a skit titled Make More Room for Daddy. This was the first time in TV history that a cast had been reunited to play their original characters, and it was such a success that Danny Thomas was offered a time slot to make the skit a full television series. So maybe, is that what you're remembering, Sandy?
No, not at all. I don't remember this at all.
Okay. So the series, which picked up 5 years after the original series ended, was styled much like I Love Lucy, with the large musical numbers and huge guest stars from that time, including Lucille Ball, Frank Sinatra, Milton Berle, Diana Ross, and Bing Crosby.
Once in a while, you run across a household where the father is autistic, high-strung, grouch. Boy, I'm so hard to get along with. No, easy, very easy. There are some things that Only a father should teach his daughter. And who teaches her to drive? The father. You didn't hear it from me. He wanted to teach her prestige, delicacy, sensitivity. It's a good thing I'm a patient man. Like I said, talented, artistic, high-strung. You always get that hysterical when you get fired? Eddie Thomas, starring in Make Room for Granddaddy, every week on ABC.
You notice
Yeah,
that
no,
ABC logo?
yeah, I know.
I know
It's
we
always
talked
been
about
like
it
that.
before, but you see that A? That was a regular A with like a flat thing on the top of the A
Yep,
right
and the
there.
B had it on the bottom. Yep.
Yep. See how it's changed? That's it's an older ME. I
Hmm.
found that one. I think it was back in 2016. I noticed it. Make Room for Granddaddy lasted one full season, 24 half-hour episodes from September 23rd, 1970 to March 18, 1971. So I just find it strange that I've never heard of this from my mom or that it wasn't syndicated.
My mom loved Angela Cartwright, and she's the reason why I started watching Make Room for Daddy. And I don't know, I just find it weird she never told me about this one.
Well, where can we watch this? Is it on Peacock?
I have no idea, Brian.
I'd like to see it now that you mention it. I've never seen
It
this
wasn't
before.
in syndication, so I don't know if you can watch it anywhere. Unless someone uploaded it to YouTube, maybe.
I still love Different Strokes, and I usually forget to mention that one, but I used to love that show.
Hmm.
And Punky Brewster. You remember Punky Brewster? Anyone?
Yes, I remember Punky Brewster, yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
actually have that show on DVD.
Really? You have which one, the cartoon or the regular?
The regular,
Yeah,
the
me
whole
too.
series.
Yeah.
And I own it on iTunes from back in the day before
Well,
when you could only
Sandy, do
buy episodes.
you have Apple TV?
I have a very, very old one.
No, I mean, do you have the Apple TV app subscription like
Oh
that?
no, no, I
I
had it
thought,
for a year for free, and
don't you
now
get
it's
that
over.
with Verizon?
No, Brian, you keep forgetting I have Verizon for the internet, not the phone.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it. So this is logos and residue stuffs that we're going over
Yeah,
right now. And so I found this one a while ago. The Independence Day. Look at the messed up looking A, that weird triangle or upward. What do you call that? Upside down V for an A in Independence Day.
and the
Um,
top is
that's just
a
this is just a
candy. Oh,
we're
go
just
on.
talking about this again here. This just I'm just bringing this back in because I wanted to point this out to you guys. Taffy Treat. Look at the logo there. The broken R's and the weird looking E's and F's.
That's a rapper from the late 1970s.
Yeah, do you see how I have to talk about it because if I don't, I'm afraid these things will change again. So,
The slants are off too, like in the T and the F
Mhm.
and the E. He says, I have to talk about it, and then goes completely silent.
Make Room for Granddaddy is on YouTube, by the way.
Oh, thank you,
Full
Jay.
episodes. You're welcome.
And Preliminal says The Lathe of Heaven is on YouTube as well, free movie. If anyone's interested. Brian, where did you go? Brian, I had a feeling. I had a feeling his computer crashed. He's got a problem with tabs. He has too many tabs open. And we are stuck here. Sorry, guys. We can't show you anything. Esther, how you hanging in there?
Just trying to save my voice. I was trying to find pictures of that meat. I don't know what happened to them. I know I had pictures, and I know I shared them with Sandy.
Which pictures?
Oh, the one of the meat, that way I turned back to pink.
Oh, me.
I'm trying to find it.
Wow, looks like I got booted out there. Sorry, I don't know how much of that you heard, but
Nothing. You said you wanted to talk about it, and you went dead silent.
okay. What was I talking about?
The taffy. You weren't even on the slide.
Okay, was it this slide?
Yeah,
Okay, did I talk about Independence Day and the upside down V?
you did. You said you wanted to talk about taffy treat.
Yes.
If,
See,
in case it
the
changed.
AI does this sometimes. I think I don't know if this was an AI incident, but sometimes they don't want us talking about the Mandela effect. Notice the weird triangle part of the R that's touching the vertical bar. It's a broken R, and the F's have this jutted out part here on the left hand side. It's and the F is also cut at the top right, making kind of aligning with the 11 o'clock position, like if it would point to the 11 o'clock. The T on the left hand side is pointing to the 1 o'clock. So I thought I'd mention that. The E's and the F's are both messed up.
And the E and A is merged. And
E and the A merge. Yeah.
the R has that pattern we see where it's like barely connected.
The weird broken R's. We've seen a lot of stuff pointing to Ra, the ancient Egyptian sun god. I see a lot of logos and stuff merging with the R's and the A's.
So listen, guys. I tell you sometimes that my residue changes. Well, it changed. This changed, so I wanted to show it to you. I did a thing on Tom and Jerry where I just showed residue, and wrong was with the yellow eyes, and right was with the white eyes. And now my right slide has all gone yellow. I used the wrong one. It's supposed to say 2 years, but whatever. So if you go to the next slide, you can see the slides, the whole slide. I gave you the full wrong slide and the full right slide, so you can see that all the eyes are now yellow in both sides.
Wow. So,
Next slide, Ronnie.
next slide. Okay.
So you can see this was wrong. They were all yellow. They still are all yellow. I was also talking about the fact that Tom is blue sometimes. He's not always gray.
No, he was great.
Yeah, sometimes he's blue. And the main excuse for that is different artists. And this was all white eyes, and now we have all yellow.
You're telling me your residue changed.
Yes. And on top of that, the one on the bottom now has green eyes. Like
Yep.
the top right as well. It's not just black, it's green. And then this one, back in 2019, I think it was, Teresa found the York peppermint patty changed. She remembers a Y, but it's always been IE. I'm just curious why they didn't make Batty with an IE. They make Patty with an IE. Why wouldn't they make Batty with an IE? So I think that's residue.
Yeah, but not only that, the slogan changed, and that's an older ME too.
That's older, yeah.
Yeah,
I did cover it in that presentation.
What is it? Feel the sensation? No, get the sensation or feel the sensation or something.
No, it was
or
taste the sensation, and now it's get the sensation.
Yeah, it was taste the sensation.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. Does it really say get the sensation? That is so weird. No.
So here's
And it
residue
was
of Hershey bar.
Hershey bar.
Mm-hmm. And the LM in almond is merged on and also it's sweet milk chocolate. I gotta see when they changed it. It's not on there now. But I don't ever remember. We've researched this many times, and I don't ever remember seeing sweet milk chocolate written underneath. It was just milk chocolate.
Yeah.
But
No, it was no, it was just milk chocolate. Yes.
mhm. And then the bottom is a 1982 Milwaukee Brewer candy bar, and it's all merged.
Well, guys, I'm gonna head out.
Okay,
So
Esther.
I'm trying
Thanks
not
for
to fall
hanging in
asleep
as
on
long
you.
as you did.
Yeah, just trying not to fall asleep, and I gotta go rest my throat. So
Well, I hope you feel better.
thanks.
All
Yeah.
right. Good night, Esther.
Good night,
Night,
Esther.
guys. Night,
Good night,
everybody.
Esther.
Night, Jeff.
Okay. Take it easy.
Okay, we can go on. So
Oh, that
Clark Bar, the R has a little foot now.
no. When did that happen?
That's an older candy bar. Obviously, you see 5 cents.
You telling me is that an older ME or is that new?
I've never seen it before.
I have to tell you something aside from these little things here. Did you know Teresa told me there is now a Vitruvian woman?
Yeah, I did know that.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also blown away by the message at the bottom. Try eating a Clark bar every day, between 2 and 4 p.m. Drink a glass of water and see how much pep you have when the day is done. Try eating sugar and chocolate every day. Never mind. Anyway, at the bottom, remember those little candy bags, the paper bags that at Halloween people would stuff to put treats in for like Halloween parties and trick or treating? Well, that's what these bags are. And we've got the pointy teeth pumpkin, and we have Halloween just overlapping. But the thing is, there's a what's it called? The thing on top of the E. What's it called? Anybody in the chat? Please help.
It's the apostrophe over the E, whatever it is. Just
Yeah, whatever it's called. Why is there an apostrophe over the E in Halloween? Like never.
usually you see that in Spanish, in the Spanish language.
The accent. Yes, thank you, Frank. The accent. Well, the carrot is actually like a upside down V. Oh, thank you, Jeff. I didn't even see him because I was looking at the screen. This one blew my mind.
You're welcome.
Look, guys, this is an old Planters candy bar. Uh, okay, the R has a triangle. That's fine. I can deal with that. I can't deal with the 5 cents being merged like that. Never.
No.
I've never seen that. It's new.
Hey, you know what it looks like? It looks like one of those little Lego man's hands.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does.
Doesn't
But
it?
it does. But also, Mr. Peanut is shaped weird. I don't remember him being
Hmm.
shaped like that.
He never looked like that.
He
He
looks
kind of
like
looks
he
like,
looks like a serpent or something.
yeah, and he
Like
kind of
like
looks like
a
he has a bulge or something. I don't like it. I don't
but
like it.
at least he has the monocle. See, I think he stole it from Monopoly Man.
Well, he always had the monocle for me.
I know, but I think he stole it from.
Yeah, but he already had it, so how could he steal it? Now, if he had glasses, you could say he stole the monocle to make a pair of glasses, but. All right, so, guys, have you ever seen movies have two official logos? Like completely different. I've seen different posters where the artwork is different, but the logo's always been the same. But for some reason, About a Boy has two different logos, and I've never seen the one with the arrow on the T. Have you?
No.
Hey, Virgos.
And the B and the O's are merged. What?
Yeah, just like Rosemary's Baby, which a new pattern I just found is now on About a Boy.
No.
Never seen this before. Anyone? Anyone see this?
No.
Mm-mm. Absolutely not.
That looks so stupid. Both of them.
How did you find this, Sandy?
It's always accidental, Brian.
Hey, the Mandela effect seemed to find you, Sandy.
Yeah, it does. So here we have some actual residue. Jeff sent in. Now we've shown the money with the monocle before, but we're showing it again. So rewind residue. But the cufflinks, they're new. I haven't seen them before. Awesome residue. And then a cat with an Uncle Sam hat.
I want a cat with an Uncle Sam hat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jeff also sent this residue for Grand Central Station. Bubble beeper, I don't remember the letters being broken like that. Bubblegum is normal, but bubble beeper is not. Here we have C-3PO with no crown on his head, and his stomach is gold like I remember. And Jeff also sent residue of Niagara, not Niagara, on the lake.
I hate that change so much. It's so stupid.
So on the top, you can see I previously covered the logo for Dick Tracy changing, how it's overlapping. The eye has a dot that I don't remember. On the left is the movie, on the right is a comic book. The bottom is a candy bar, and that's how I remember the logo.
I'll have to check my comic books. You know I have Dick Tracy comic books, Sandy?
I did not, but yes, you'll have to check. These are only $1, so they're kind of old.
We're gonna have to kind of speed it up a little bit, Sandy, only because it is late, and I know a lot of people have to get up in the morning.
Brian, you're the only one that's going slow. I keep inching
Okay,
you
I will
along.
try to pick it up a little bit. Okay, so I'll read this one. Super Mario Brothers 3
This
is the
part
credit for this one.
for
Is
this
the
part,
credit for
yeah.
this one.
This is two-part.
Yeah, before 1989, Jerry Seinfeld had small parts and even a recurring role on other network TV series. So this is a two-part question. So please answer. All right, guys. Which TV series was Seinfeld not on? Okay, was it Square Pegs, Benson, News Radio, or Night Court?
Oh, I said please answer like number/number. So that way you can just ask both questions at once. So the first number
Okay.
is going to be which TV series was Seinfeld not on? And the second number is which series did he have a recurring role? So you're going to put 1, 2, 3, or 4
All right.
/1, 2, 3, or 4. Those
All
are
right,
the
Jeff.
answers we want in the chat.
Yeah, Jeff, do you want to read from the chat? Are you able to?
Yeah.
I can read the chat too if you need help.
Thanks.
And while we're looking at the chat, Brian, Jeff, do you want to? I'm not going to answer because I know the answers. But do you guys want to give some answers for these?
So I wasn't aware he was on any of these.
Okay, well, the first question is which one was he not on? So all of them for you. And which series did he have a recurring role? Would be none. So all and none for Jeff.
Yep.
What about you, Brian?
Same with me. I don't remember him being on any of these.
Okay, so Joe says not on Square Pegs, recurring role on News Radio. Maddie isn't sure about the first part, but recurring role on Night Court. Joe Bloor says not on Benson, recurring role on Square Pegs, ? None for me, says Burgos. Ed Hen says, I don't know, but Seinfeld show on right now. I used to go to sleep now. Does the show Seinfeld count as a recurring role? No, it does not. Otherwise, I don't know. None for me either, says High Pockets. Frank Nunez says 1 or 2 for which TV series was he not on, and 3 or 1 for which series did he have a recurring role. Mandela Affected says no idea. Okay, we can go on, Brian.
All right.
Hi, Mustard Seed. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
All right. So question number 1. The answer is number 4. Jerry Seinfeld has never appeared on the Night Court.
So let that sink in, guys. He has appeared on the other 3. Square Pegs, News Radio, and Benson. He has appeared on all of those shows. And on one of them, he had a recurring role, and it was not Night Court. He's never been on Night Court. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Question number 2. The answer is number 2. Jerry Seinfeld had a recurring role on Benson. This might not be an Emmy, but I have no memory of this, even though I watched Benson all the time. Do you think this is a timeline change?
So I included clips from all the ones he was on.
To see the governor? Or you're not. But the Historical Society's coming to dinner. Got some great jokes the governor can use. You hear him?
You're not a joke writer, Frankie. You're a messenger.
Please, I'm a courier.
Then go curry.
Well,
Come on, Benson. What harm can it do? Give him a chance, okay?
Well, okay.
Thanks, Benson. Go ahead, Frankie.
So before you go further, I gotta read. Jerry Seinfeld played a small role as Frankie, a delivery boy and unsuccessful comedian, for 3 episodes in 1980. He was asked to leave because of creative differences. So in each episode, he's asking to speak to the governor to, like, I don't know, be a comedian for the governor. So I have clips of every episode that he was on. So that's the first one. Yeah, Brian.
question number 2.
This is the other clip.
Keep it cheer. Frankie's here.
Frankie, what do you want?
I brought a letter over from Miss Grouse, and I thought, since I was here,
And then the next one is the last episode he was on.
Hold it, Frankie.
I got some hot stuff from the Capitol for the gov. I bet you thought I was trying to sneak past you. That's a laugh. Oh, Benson, why am I the only courier who has to drop his pouch here in the kitchen?
Because you're the only courier trying to sell jokes to the governor.
I've got some topical ones. They'll kill the holy man.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Come on, Benson. Do you know why a priest crosses himself? To get to the other side.
All right, so Super Mario Brothers 3 does not remember him ever being on the show, and that's why we covered this. But now I found something else when I was researching this, of course, as usual. That's how it happens. So go on.
While compiling this, Sandy saw something that had changed. It's probably been covered by someone before, but I'm going to ask just in case it wasn't. Now, I chose Night Court because they are making a continuation of the series set in January 2023. The only confirmed original cast member in the new series is Dan Fielding, played by John L. Quet. L. blank Quet.
Lara Quet. You can say Lara Cat. His name is Lara Cat. Please spell the missing letters of Lara Cat. What do you remember, or how do you remember John Lara Cat's name being spelled? Jeff, Brian, while we wait for the chat, do you want to throw in a guess?
What I wrote in the chat.
Brian, what do you remember?
I don't know this man, so I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So we have Jeff with 2 R's, Joe with 2 R's, Maddie with 1 R. Mr. Super Sidewinder said, "These questions are tough. I should have studied." one R for High Pockets. Ed Hen is baffled. Mr. Super Sidewinder says, I'm with Maddie. And so am I. We can move on, Brian.
All right. So I do not remember him having two R's or two T's in his name.
No, R's and T's. There's two R's and two T's.
Right.
It's too
It
long.
was
You said it wrong.
Larroquette in my past with one R, and his name looks way too long now.
That is not how it's spelled for me.
How about you? Do you remember Larroquette with one R, like Tony Awards, A&E, and I do?
So you
Or do you have
Tony
the current
Awards,
memory of Larroquette with two R's?
so the Tony Awards YouTube channel, in the title, spells his name the way I remember it, but on TV it had the two R's. And the A&E made headshots of John Larroquette for the John Larroquette show, and they spell his name with one R as well on the headshot.
Yeah, that is weird.
Mm-hmm. His name looks entirely too long. That looks
There's
ridiculous.
a lot of residue there for the one R, and it's spelled with an A and an O.
Yeah.
Larro.
Larroquette.
More residue.
There's a ton of residue.
Yeah, tons of residue, you guys. And these are known, reputable sites, you know. Why would you get the man's name wrong? If you're a trusted site, you would not want to spell someone's name wrong, because then they could possibly sue you.
Well,
All right.
I don't know if they sue you. They tell you to fix it. It's a typo.
Yeah.
I could sue you over typo, I would think. I would hope. Hope not.
All right. This next one is talking about art supplies. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Art supplies. Have you guys artists out there? Any artists in the chat?
There are some people who knew this, yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to read it.
Jeff, you want to read this one?
Okay, Jeff can read it.
Yeah. From logos to a name change, I recently noticed several changes to art supply brands that I used in high school and college. These are all original pigments made from the original components. Some are extremely rare, and some can even kill you with repeated exposure due to ingredients such as cadmium, lead, mercury, and arsenic. I noticed two very old labels with logos inconsistent with the decade and my memory. Unfortunately, finding a detailed logo history is near impossible for these types of companies, so I cannot be sure these are changes, but they do not seem right to me. The first one is Blocks, an Italian art supplier founded in 1865. This bottle is from the 1920s with overlapping letters, which was not common in my past and unheard of in the 1920s. I am not sure if it ended in an X or not. The second one I am sure of, Liquitex. Their logo went practically unchanged since the company name changed from Permanent Pigments to Liquitex, with both using the same font and details. The O never connected, and there was never Morse code like lines and dots above the word. In 2010, almost a decade after I stopped using Liquitex often, they changed the O to how I remember it, which happens often since our awareness of the Mandela effect. The other issues with the logo, including the crooked E remain in the updated logo. The last logo only change is Gamblin Artists Supplies, which was founded in 1980. Their logo has always been merged like this, with the exception of an anniversary 1980 paint set, which has a script logo.
Notice how the M and the B is merged into one.
Yeah. The main Mandela effect for me is the logo and name of one of the most known brands in the art world. Before we get to the logo issue, I'm going to ask you about their name. If you know the artist brand, which way do you spell the blank A or B? W blank and Newton.
Oh, is it with a D or without the D?
So yeah, so in the chat, A or B, guys, which one looks right to you? Which one do you remember?
I must be getting tired because I'm looking at both and they look the same for a second there.
So Susan says B. Frank says B. Frank also says I am an artist. Molotol is my preferred brand. Mr. Super Sidewinder says B. Joe doesn't know, and that's okay. Brian and Jeff, do you guys have any input? What do you remember?
I say it's B.
B.
All right, B for both. Anyone else? We have a second question coming up.
Okay.
All right, we can move on, Brian. Yeah, Jeff. Ed's guessing B. Maddie's an A.
I have only known this brand as Windsor, but it's always been Windsor and Newton. I'm 1,000,000% wrong for me.
It is A. Go on.
Even more wrong is their Griffin logo. Which do you remember, top or bottom?
So in the chat, top or bottom, which one looks closest to your memory? It doesn't have to be exact. I had to draw these. I actually drew both. Well, drew
I'm
over
definitely going
both.
to go with A on that one, the top one.
Okay, top. What about you, Jeff?
The top.
Top for Jeff. Let's see what the chat says. Bottom for Burgos. Maddie's top. Frank Nunez is top. Ed is bottom. 50-50 in the chat. Mr. Super Sidewinder says top. Bottom looks like Capricorn. Susan Wolf has no memory, and that's okay. I appreciate you guys chiming in even when you don't know. Bottom for High Pockets. Top for Samoa. Or Harry. Sorry. The sea lion isn't much better because it's not the same as an actual sea lion. All right, we can go on. Yeah, Jeff.
The current reality is the bottom. While I remember them using a griffin with a lion's head, it's typically an eagle. I do not remember the body morphing into a fishtail. This completely mirrors the Capricorn ME.
Right there with you, Mr. Super Sidewinder. Yeah, Brian.
Okay.
You're telling us you want to move faster.
Yep.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Tell me when to move on.
The above image is my memory. Do you remember it like I do, or the current reality?
Like I said, I drew the curve in the tail because of the curve in the fishtail, and that was the best I could do. So
That's not bad, Sandy.
thanks.
That's the way it is now. Looks like a serpent or something. Actually, you know what it reminds me of is the new Capricorn.
That's what I just wrote. Yep, and that's
Oh
what
yeah, yeah.
Mr. Super Sidewinder said too.
Mm-hmm.
So here's residue. Here it's carved on wood. This would have sat on a register in an art supply store, like next to a register on the counter. You're going to want to move through these fast, Brian.
Yeah, it's all residue for the Windsor with the D.
There's a ton of it. A ton.
Wow.
I mean, we got school supply lists, we got artwork, we have so much stuff. Listings on Amazon, Walmart.
I've always told people, Sandy,
Newspapers.
you know, since I first started, and some of you guys who are new to the show, new to the channel, it's like there's been a crime here, and we're just here investigating it. We don't know what's behind it, what's behind the Mandela effect. We just know that an incident has happened, and now we've rolled out the yellow tape. That's all that we're doing right now.
I mean, there's an insane amount of residue.
Of course, I blame it on Flash for messing up the timeline. You know, fictional character, of course. You know, the Flash.
Yeah. The last
Okay.
one.
So, what do you guys think about that one? That one's dealing with art supplies.
Okay, what's next?
You're making me want to go to Hobby Lobby for some reason, Sandy. I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in a hot minute.
I need to go to Hobby Lobby. I need magnets. Little magnets.
Do they sell neodymium magnets?
I have no idea.
Those are the
All
strongest
right.
magnets.
So this one, guys, is a call to arms. I need your help here. For me, this comes from Karen Maloney. This entire statue is a Mandela effect for me. I've never seen it before Karen contacted me about this. And I'm Catholic, and this is supposedly in the Vatican. So, go to the next slide, Brian. I need everyone's help on this. Karen believes the statue of Jesus, his resurrection, which Karen described as Jesus rising from a nuclear bomb, has changed. But she did not describe what has changed for her. So I don't know what to look for. However, some images online are mirrored. People purposely mirrored them because, well, it kind of looks like the Baphomet, like on the top left, bottom left. And then someone also mirrored it on the right, and it kind of like goat legs and a human, like half goat, half man. So I don't know if she was talking about this, where people were mirroring the image.
Sandy?
Interesting. Thank you, Ed. I'm here.
Yeah, I don't remember the statue having both arms in the air like that. I thought it was turned
It's
sideways.
not, Brian. It's mirrored. It's a mirror image. It's the same on both sides. It's
Oh,
not. It doesn't look like that.
okay.
Okay, so I am turning it to the chat, to everyone listening. My email address is sandydivayt@gmail.com. Do you recognize this statue? What do you remember it called? Resurrection or nuclear bomb? And do you see any changes? Like, send me in a direction to research this because I have no idea. I've never seen the statue before. I'm hoping Karen just said it looks different to her. That doesn't, it doesn't look different to me. It just looks like something I've never seen before. See, now when I look up online, it says it's just the resurrection of Jesus. It's all it says. But I'm taking screenshots now of your comments. That's a good one, Frank. Thank you. Next slide, Brian. Or is that the last one? That's the last one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we got two more, right? I think we got two more.
Yeah. Jeff, I know
Okay.
you want to read this one, Jeff. Go ahead.
Okay. Inside your clothes, on your shoes, tools, literally anything that is manufactured, you will see a tag stating where the item was made. For United States items, which government issued tag do you remember, left or right?
I remember the right, made in the USA.
Me too.
Okay, in the chat, everyone, left or right? Ed Hen, I'd still like to hear your opinion if you wouldn't mind emailing it to me on the statue. Ed Hen says, I guess right with the red line under the blue box. Don't worry, I have lots of that to show. There's a lot of red bar residue coming up. Okay, so High Pockets is left, Maddie is left, Ed Hen is right, Joe Bloor remembers both. Mandela affected is left. And more right, but the red stripe under the blue says Mr. Super sidelined it. Samoa Harry is right. Jeff, try to remember what you said about the wrong one, because I'm going to ask you about it in a few.
Okay.
Susan Wolf is guessing right. That's weird. On my end, Samoa Harry's comment was first, then Susan's, but then Susan's jumped above Samoa Harry. That's weird. Why did you two do these things? All right, Brian, we can go on. Yeah, Jeff.
While both exist, the most common and official USA design is made in USA. It was always made in the USA for me. Is this what you remember?
And Jeff, now I'm going to ask you, what did you say when I showed this to you about the how it, the English of it?
Sounds like broken English the way it is now.
It
Yeah, it's not
does.
the way we talk. We don't
Right.
say made in USA. We say made in the USA.
Yeah, made in the USA.
Yeah.
10,000%, Sandy.
But for every made in the USA you find, there's 25 or 30 made in USA's. And it's on everything that I have seen made in the USA on. Like AC Delco and New Balance sneakers and this wrench.
No, I could see made in China,
Well,
but
yeah,
not made in USA. It was made in the USA. Well, there's your red bar flag for you, Jeff.
yeah.
Nice.
And Mr. Super's
And the stars, like I
sideline
remember them. You see the stars, how they're just perfectly in line with one another?
Yep.
and Ed. Hmm.
Weird thing about that is it has residue for that red bar flag, and it has the wrong way written with "Made in USA." So it's like the new reality and the old reality merged together on the one tag.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
But
here
here
you
we
have
have it both
red
ways.
bar flag on the right.
And at least that one says "Made in the USA."
I hope. Now, who was it? Was it Bruce Springsteen? Born in the USA, right?
Yep.
I
Hmm.
hope he still says it because I hope he doesn't say "Born in USA." Better not do that.
He doesn't.
Good.
Mandela Effect says there are a lot of tiny towns around the world called USA just for the manufacturing purposes. They wouldn't be able to show the US flag if they were in another country.
Right.
Okay. There we go. We got residue there. So you,
Like I said, it's both ways now. It's just that it's very rare to see in the USA compared to in USA. And I've never seen it in USA. It's always been in the for me.
Born in East LA. I like that
All right,
saying.
we got a lot of music in this
all right,
one.
Tom, you're up. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, yeah, Tom and
This is
myself
Tom
because I
Hefner's Mandela
well
effect here.
part of it,
You want to talk
part of
about
it.
it, Sandy?
Yeah, because all right, the first part is Tom's. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson has been Mandela twice already. The first time, maybe it's Mandela noticed Mama changed to Mother. And then the second time, Jacobian noticed says changed to claims or thinks. Some people remember thinks. Changed to claims. So up here, the orange are words in the lyrics that he doesn't actually sing. And pink is credit, maybe it's Mandela. That's the mother that mama that changed the mother. And that red box is what I'm asking you about. The first word. Recently, the song changed again for Tom, Digital Scribe. Please fill in the missing word above. What do you remember? So blank always told me be careful what you do, but it's of what you do. And don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. So what's the blank? Blank always told me be careful what you do. Frank Nunez says people. Ryan, Jeff, what do you remember?
I'm her mama.
Jeff?
I remember Mama always told me, "Be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts." And Mama always told me, "Be careful who you love. Be careful what you do, because the lie becomes the truth."
And with the exception of mother and obviously the box that we're talking about, what you just said is what he sings. So Mandela affected his mama, Joe Bloor's mama, High Pockets' his mama. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? All right, Brian, you can move on.
Okay.
Frank got it. It is people. Tom remembers Mama, but it's always been people. Do you share his memory? You can play it now.
People always told me, be careful what you do.
I'd like to make a separate announcement. Donald Trump is back on Twitter.
I heard.
I just got an alert. Why am I getting this? An alert? What?
Is it? Wait,
Anyhow,
you're telling me it's an alert,
I got an alert just now that
not a
Donald Trump is back on
notification?
Twitter. A
Wow.
notification, yeah, notification alert, yes. I'm assuming someone I follow is announcing it. But anyway, here is residue of Mama always told me, be careful of what you do. And a lot of it is be careful what you do, not be careful of what you do, what he actually says. So either Google lyrics is wrong, or those are the official lyrics, but Michael Jackson didn't sing all those extra ofs that were thrown into the lyrics. Welcome, Levi222.
It was
Oh
Mama, not
no.
people.
I hope you feel better. Maybe it's Mandela.
Hope you feel better, Rena.
I mean, the only residue I could find of Mama was these, these things that people make. But it's their memories, and each one's different, so different people's memories, so I included them. So now we're moving on to mine, Brian. Okay. So, as soon as it gets on my screen, I can read it. There we go. While working on this, I found another change, for me at least. Please fill in the missing word or words that you remember. So he says, so take my strong advice, just remember to always think twice. Blank, think twice. Blank, think twice. What are the blanks? What do you remember?
I thought it was do think twice.
So do for you. Okay.
Or maybe you'll. I can't remember now.
What about you? And I know what Jeff remembers. Maybe it's
Do.
Mandela. Do for Jeff. Maybe it's Mandela is don't one time. High Pocket says better. Yes, it is currently it's 1:36 East Coast time. You are correct, Ed. I hope you get some sleep. Thanks for being here. It's the last one, so
Sandy,
you were here for the whole show. Yes, Brian.
Sandy, do you remember watching Back to the Future 3? And I told you about that where he does the moonwalk. Marty,
Yes.
does he actually sing part of the song?
I don't know. Joe Bloor says don't. I haven't seen Back to the Future 3 in a very long time. I watch one above all. The first one's my favorite.
My favorite one's the third one, probably. Well, first one or the third one.
The first one's mine.
Mine's the
100%.
first.
Yeah, hands down.
I mean, they're all really good, but yeah, I would say the first one.
I wish they would add deleted scenes and make a version with all three stitched together. That would be amazing. I would watch it. I would sit there for 6 hours. I wouldn't care.
Me too.
Okay, so did I say Joe Bloor says don't? All right, so he always said don't think twice 2 times in my past. And currently, the official lyrics say do 2 times, not don't. But I'm telling you, you doers got an update. I swear you did.
But it's so weird how you can actually hear the song in your head.
Wait, but no, just wait. Just wait. Don't play it yet. Let me read. But the craziest part is now he sings don't and do. And the do think twice sounds newer and clearer, like it was added in. Like it's not from the same recording. So play it, Brian. You hear that? They don't sound the same.
Here's the thing, though.
Uh-huh.
Don't think twice doesn't make any sense for what he's saying. Do think twice does.
It does. Yes,
But it
that's
doesn't if you
logically
think of it in
yes.
the
I was thinking
context.
the same thing.
Yeah, but if you think of it, I always thought don't think twice, you know that she's full of it. Like I thought it was referring to not him thinking twice, he's already beyond it. Don't think twice as in you know it's not your kid. Why are you even thinking about this? Don't think twice.
But it
That's how
does
I
sound
took
like
it.
he's saying don't think twice right there.
He does
And then
say
he
don't.
says do think twice the second one. That's what it sounds like.
And it also sounds like do think twice was recorded at a different time and was inserted in. It doesn't sound the same as don't think twice. Play it again. Listen to how they sound. It sounds weird.
But the
Burgos even
lyric,
says, I heard that. It sounds like a cheap insertion. That's how it sounds to me, too.
it does. But the lyric before explains why it would be do.
Yes.
Just
I know.
remember to always think twice. Do think twice. If he said don't think twice, which he does now, obviously, it doesn't make any sense.
I've always known it as don't. And so does Bruno Mars. Let's play it. Thank you, Rena, for finding these for me.
On the floor and around. Nice. Don't think twice. Yeah.
So it sounds a little off because it's played to the music of Smells Like Teen Spirit. And he's singing the lyrics to Billie Jean. But now we have even more residue.
So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Don't think twice, don't think twice.
Just like I remember. Keep going, Brian.
Just remember to always think twice. Don't think twice, don't think twice. She's on my baby.
I mean, he could be telling himself the opposite of whatever he's thinking. Have you ever you ever had that where you think about something and you say the opposite?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the most.
I mean, I think that's
This impressed me. This one impressed me. This one
I think
so
that's
good.
honestly, I think that's our president every day. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. That among many other ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Always think twice. Don't think twice, think twice.
So don't think twice times two. Exactly how I wrote
What
it.
band is that?
I'd have to go back and look. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. In my library.
Okay, let's check on that
It is
poll
the
real quick
Henley
before we.
Street Country Club, covered by It's covered by the
Okay.
Henley Street Country Club.
All right, guys. So this is the result breakdown of that. Hang on. I'm sorry, I lost the thing here. I'll get
Welcome
back.
at Man Animal, who got here at the very, very end.
Yeah, we're on the last one. So
That
hang
was the
tight,
last one.
guys.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you guys the poll that we ran here on the results of that, the voting. So 86% of you guys in our chat do not remember hearing about FTX. And 14% of you said, yeah, you do.
And yet it's supposed to be as well known as Robinhood and like Betterment and name some others like Cash App.
Do you
Never
ever
heard of
recall hearing about a crypto trading company known as FTX? Again, 86%.
You're moving on the screen. Go back to the Google search results where you search for the term and it shows the timeline. I want to see that.
Wait, which one? Oh, the timeline, yeah.
Yeah, look, like no one was searching it. Gigantic spike.
Wow.
Oh, that's the responses. No,
Yeah, that's the responses.
You should go to Google Trends and see, or is it Google Trends, and see their search results for it. No, I do not, Burgos. I do not remember Crucifix on the cover of the album Thriller. Happy Thanksgiving, Mad Animal. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Also, someone was sending me an email. I never got anything.
Yeah,
Double
nobody.
check.
Okay, look at this. Nobody was searching for this until October 30th. This is in the past 12 months, you guys.
That's
Yeah,
proof.
that's crazy. I am putting my email in the chat again. Again, there's no spaces. It's sandydivayt@gmail.com. Whoever was sending me the email before, please send it again. I never got it. And two, if you guys have any input on the statue behind the Pope in the Vatican, the resurrection of Jesus, what could possibly have changed, if you notice any changes to it, anything, please shoot me an email because we didn't do this one. We still have one more left. This is
Yeah,
the
this is the
best
last
one.
one.
Make sure, please send me an email because I don't know where to go from here because it's a totally new statue for me. So emails in the chat. Here's my new one. Yeah, who wants to read it? I just read, so.
I'll read. So I don't know if this has been covered before, so credit goes to them if it has already been talked about. Originally, I was just going to cover the 1980s and 90s Fundit logo being merged, but then I saw that the actual product had changed. Which letter is missing? L-I-K for lick, A, or there's two dashes between the A and the, or
I'm going to get to that. I'm going
one
to
on
get to
each
them
side
in
of
a
the A.
second. But just focus on the last letter. There's one letter
S-T-I
missing.
blank.
What is the letter you remember being the last letter on that candy?
It was K.
Jeff?
K.
All right, waiting for the chat. Stay here, Brian. We have no answers yet. Frank Nunez says K. Any answers? If you don't know, it's okay. Say don't know. It's all right. We have K for Samoa Harry. Michael Fontaine is a K. High Pockets is a K. Burgos is a K. Brian, they're still getting answers. Go back. Well, now they saw it. It's on the screen for like 30 seconds. Might as well move on. Joe
Okay.
Bloor's a K.
All right. It seems like we're getting mostly Ks. As a side note here, do you remember dots or dashes? I'm honestly not sure, but I vaguely remember dashes. Regardless, these were lick-a-stick in my past. Now they say sticks.
With an X.
Lick-a-sticks?
It has an X now, not a K.
No, that's so weird, man.
It's
Oh
always had an
yeah,
X.
and the logo from my childhood also is all merged, of course. The company has corrected this in the past decade. Yeah, that merging. Look at that merging going on. It was
Yeah.
Lick-a-Stick. Fun Dip costume. And it says at the bottom here, Fun Dip costume even comes with a Lick-a-Stick. But it actually says sticks on the picture. So you know it's changed. This is a huge one, you guys.
Yeah, 100% in the chat so far.
Yep.
Wow. This got me, Sandy. You got me on this one.
I even got Michael Fontaine.
You found this?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm a paint few happy trees with his packet, like Bob Ross Lick-a-Stick candy. That's funny. There's residue. The one on the right, notice how Sandy has the red box up over it, and that means that that's the current reality. But the green boxes are showing that that's what that person remembers. Lick-a-Stick. It's so
Yeah,
weird, right?
Mm-hmm. They're plural now. Matches what's happening in our reality. Singular is now plural.
All right. Well, that wraps it up, you guys.
Wait, you didn't mention there's double residue here.
Oh,
Pixie
double
sticks.
residue.
Pixie sticks. Pixie doesn't have an E anymore. It's just P-I-X-I.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was Pixie without. It was Pixie had the E.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me they did away with the E?
It's just P-I-X-I.
No,
We
that's
covered
weird.
that, Brian. We covered that in
It's
2019.
Pixy, isn't it? No,
Is it Y? It might be
it's
Y
Y.
now.
Yeah,
We remember IE though.
I do. I remember that.
I knew it wasn't IE anymore. We did cover it, but we covered it before Brian took his break in 2019. Pre-graphics. Everybody's jumping in Pixies too.
All right.
So wait, in the chat, no one answered. Do you remember the dots or do you remember dashes?
I
I'm
remember
not sure about
dashes.
that. You
It was
remember dashes?
Dashes, yeah.
just like dashing through the snow.
We see a lot of dashes turning to dots. That's why I was curious, because I
Sandy,
honestly
my
don't
eyes are
remember.
turning into dashes. We have to get off the air. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yes, it was STIX, Pixie Sticks. That is correct. It was Pixie Sticks. All right.
Well,
Good
thank you
night,
for coming, everyone. Have a great Mandela Effect night. God bless. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. I'm putting my email in the chat again.
Hurry up,
Good night,
Sandy.
everyone.
Good night, everyone. Happy
Good night,
Thanksgiving.
everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.